You know who does the best Quentin Tarantino type movies? Quentin Tarantino. Django Unchained, Quentin Tarantino's latest, stars Jamie Foxx in the brutal story of a black man during slave time who makes his way from a slave to a bounty hunter to a revenge killer, and exactly the impact that has on the world around him. Nobody does a Quentin Tarantino movie quite like Quentin Tarantino, and you realize as you're watching this, a movie like this, exactly how much he is aped in cinema. There are so many directors who have taken so many bits and pieces from what he does that it's really interesting to see the guy who kind of invented that cinema style do it himself again with Django Unchained. And I have to say, despite all the violence, and it is grotesque and brutal, and not just violence, but there are just some images in this thing that you will not be able to shake for a while. Despite all that, he really has his au revoir down. He knows exactly who he is, and the humor and the shot selection and these characters, they feel so distinctly Quentin Tarantino. And if you're a Tarantino fan, I think you're really, really going to dig this one. I am not particularly a Tarantino fan. I haven't enjoyed a lot of what he did, but there was something about Django Unchained that was just joyful. And there's this weird way he paints with violence and revenge and blood spatter that you know is supposed to be grotesque and gross you out, but at the same time, there's this exuberance in it that you just doesn't quite gel with you, and it leaves you with this interesting cognitive dissonance about enjoying a movie and at the same time being disgusted by it. I can't quite put my finger on it exactly, except to say I had both of those feelings often in this movie and in very strange and weird ways. Let's talk about the performances. Jamie Foxx, I think, is perfectly serviceable in this title role. I think you have to give a lot of credit to Quentin Tarantino for the way he directs him and where he puts him. But Christoph Waltz is just steals the show. He's incredible in this. I don't know if you can steal the show when you're one of the main actors. Whatever the case, he does it. He is phenomenal in this, and his performance as this character who meets up with Django and what happens next is really kind of, I think, what makes the heartbeat of this movie happen. All of that to say that I understand for sure why Quentin Tarantino fans will look at a movie like this and really, really enjoy it. It's just hard for me to balance that with how sickening it really is.